You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off Date with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities, Thursday, March 19th. Most importantly, we are about an hour away, an hour and 15 minutes away from the tip-off of the NCAA tournament. I get it, the first fours were the last couple nights, but the NCAA tournament really starts today. 11:15, Texas Christian, TCU, led by Moline's own Brock Harding and others, taking on Ohio State. So the madness is officially here. Thank you guys so much for joining us as we get you ready for more March Madness and a whole bunch more on what's been a very busy week here on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. If you have subscribed, awesome. Thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so. It costs you absolutely nothing, helps us out a ton. So please subscribe and tell a friend or two or all your friends about what we're doing each and every day right here in the Quad Cities Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Also, it's there's a chat on YouTube as well, so be interactive as well as we continue our way through a fun week right here in the middle of March. We're also live on X. X has been very, very good to me and to us. So if you're on X, thank you for that. We are available on all of the podcasting platforms as well. So Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, you name it, wherever you get your Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, put in Off Day with Matt Randazzo and check out the show. Go back, listen to other shows, all of those kind of things. And don't look at us. You don't have to watch us. You can go for a run. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. Catch up on Off the Air this weekend when you're out working out or doing yard work or all that kind of stuff as well. It's been a busy week. On Monday, we had Tom Kakert and Nicholas Baer breaking down Iowa's chances in the NCAA tournament, especially round one against Clemson. Great perspective, obviously, from Nicholas Baer, who's been there and done that with the Iowa Hawkeyes. And then also great perspective, as always, from Tom Kakert, who's down in Tampa Bay as we speak, Tampa, Florida, as we speak, getting ready for Iowa and Clemson coming up tomorrow. Also on Monday, we had Scott Harding talking about Brock Harding being in the NCAA tournament with TCU, and Mike Hagley joined us with the Illini guys to talk a lot about the Illini as well. Tuesday was more ladies stuff. We had Kyle Huseman and John Bonenkamp talking about the Iowa women, Western Illinois women as well. Jake Brand got our Cyclone fix for us on Tuesday as well. Yesterday's show, we had Cooper Koch on the show. If you missed that interview, go back and check it out. Cooper was outstanding. Also, KJ Lamont, former Rock Island standout, doing great things at Indian Hills. They're going to be in the national tournament next weekend. So talk about his journey through basketball and what's next for him as well. Conference Player of the Year for Indian Hills. So a great season for KJ Lamont. That and Greg Armstrong was in studio with me, which was a lot of fun. We went through our brackets, but nice to have a co-host. Hadn't had anybody in the studio for a while. The studio, aka my loft. So it was great to have Greg with us as well. Go check out those shows as well. A lot of fun set up for today. Coming up in a matter of moments, we'll have the voice of the Iowa women's basketball team. Rob Brooks will join us to talk about a busy weekend at Carver Hawkeye Arena and what's to come with the Iowa women's basketball team. Of course, they open the postseason play, the NCAA tournament against Fairleigh Dickinson coming up on Saturday. So Rob Brooks joins us in just a matter of moments to talk about what will be a fun weekend. Can Iowa get back to a Sweet 16? Can they get to an Elite Eight? Can they get to a Final Four and beat South Carolina or someone along those lines? A lot of questions to be answered. No one better than Rob Brooks. So Brooksy will join us coming up in just a little bit as well. Also on today's show, we will have Jess Settles. Jess in my opinion, one of the best when it comes to color commentators in college basketball. Of course, Jess Settles was part of that last Iowa Sweet 16 team back in 1999. It's still crazy that it's been that long. So Jess will join us in a little bit as well. Also, John Marx will be along just to spice things up a little bit here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. All of that and much, much more. Also, we got to remind everyone, great response to this OTA Bracket Challenge. Thank you to some awesome sponsors that we have here on the show. It's completely free. You got about an hour to get signed in. If you're listening, if you're on the chat and you haven't, go to my social medias. I just put a link up on both of them right now. So click on it. Absolutely free. Great prize packages. We're going to have 3 prizes. First prize is one of the prizes, I should say, is a mobile party experience, party trailer for a day rental, and along with that, a Hungry Hobo party sub. Feeds about 12 people as well. So cool package there. Another one is like all food, Snoops, chips, salsa, enchiladas, all those kind of things, and Godfather's pizzas. So if you're a food lover like myself, that could be right up your alley. And also a $50 Visa gift card, Crawford Company donating that as well. So thank you to our sponsors. If you finish dead last, if you're the last person in the pool, never fear. Our guy Andy Furman will take care of you at Godfather's Pizza. He has a cinnamon monkey bread for the last place person in the pool as well. So up over 200 people in the pool already. We love that. I think it was around 100 last year. So doubling it the second year we did it is a lot of fun. More than that, I think. I'm working close to 250. So again, you have 54 minutes. More than that, because I think it goes to 11:15. So maybe an hour. Do that. While you're watching the show, while you're listening to the show, get your bracket filled out for the OTA bracket challenge. Also, really fun March Madness last night. Miami of Ohio. I am a Miami of Ohio guy. I think anytime you win that many games in a row, despite who you are playing, you deserve to at least be in the NCAA tournament. I'm not saying they deserve to be a 1 seed, a 5 seed, but I think it was perfect that they had to go to the playing game. I'm fine with that. And what an atmosphere in Dayton last night. The place was packed. Miami of Ohio, close. So a lot of people there, and they won last night. So they will move on in the NCAA tournament. I have them winning a game as well. Another game, not just that one, but another game in the NCAA tournament. I love the way they shoot it. They don't defend it well at all. They're trying to outscore you and all those kind of things. So that was kind of fun. It's been a good first 2 days with just the 2 games out there each night. But the craziness begins this morning, 11:15. But we got a lot more to get to. The women will be in full swing. They start tomorrow. Iowa and Carver Hawkeye Arena, the place to be on Saturday as well. And there on the call, our first guest, one of the best in the business, Rob Brooks. So joining me now to talk all about a big weekend at Carver Hawkeye Arena, the voice of the Iowa women's basketball program, my good friend, Rob Brooks. Thank you for slumming it with me on a Thursday morning. I appreciate it, buddy.
Well, we just did this right before the Big Ten tournament. That went well, so we'll give it a go here for NCAAs.
Absolutely. It was a good run at the Big Ten tournament. Before we get going on what's to come, we joked it's been a little break for you without doing basketball games. What's it like for the ladies? I mean, it's going to be almost 2 weeks between playing a basketball game and all those kind of things. Forget about you. What about the girls? Do you think it was good for them to kind of mentally, physically reset, or do you want to be playing basketball this time of year? Your thoughts on the break?
Yeah, Matt, good question. I've talked to a lot of coaches. What's better? Because I think when you look at some of the men's tournaments, especially you go back to that, well, the Big 12 and the Big 10, the 2 that I watch the most, and just grind them out, semifinal games, final games, hard nose, and then for the Big 10 comes all the way up to Sunday. Well, you started to see around the country teams are off and running on Tuesday. So there's not much of a break if you get to that point. That's where I think you look at if you lose in the quarterfinals, you at least get 2 games in, get to the semifinals. that's okay. If you're not going to win it, you want to win it, but the consolation prize is that you might get home, get a couple days rest, get some laundry done, and head off. So I think if you're really hot and playing well, you just want to keep playing. But I think the break is nice because you look at you and I on the men's side, same thing. The Missouri Valley Conference men's tournament mirrors the Big Ten women's, so they get a nice little break too. If you've got injuries, which Iowa does with Hannah Stalkey, so that gives her an extra week. So I think that's great. And then obviously the way the UCLA game went down, you're kind of down in the dumps for a couple of days after that as coaches and players. So I think that gives you a little chance to reset too and realize the sun comes out the next few days. You get back to practice, get that energy going. And then when you get to host, in front of 15,000 fans that are going to be as loud as they have all year. It's a great atmosphere. So you missed it last year. It was terrific the 3 previous years. So for the last 5 years, Iowa's been able to host. And I think that really, as a player or coach around the program, would really give you a big boost because you know you've got that crowd right behind you.
Rob, when you look at it too, Selection Sunday, you knew that it was going to be, a 2 seed, probably at home, all those kind of things. What stood out to you when you saw the bracket for the first time? Did you look right away at the first round opponent and get right to work, or like big picture? Did you look at what might be? What stood out to you when it came to Selection Sunday and you saw the brackets finally come out?
Well, I graduated in the same high school class as Katie Abrahamson, who is the Georgia head coach. So that goes way back to the mid 80s at Cedar Rapids, Washington. So certainly have followed her career, played at Iowa, played at Georgia, has really ascended to a great career as a head coach. So they're coming back, the Georgia Bulldogs. And the way I kind of look at the first round games, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Hasn't been a problem except one time. You go back to Megan Gustafson's senior year when Iowa made an Elite Eight run. There was a Mercer Bear team in Carver Hawkeye Arena, and that final score was 66-61. And Mercer was a smaller team, tough to defend, could shoot the three, and gave Iowa problems. And that was remember, the team that went to the Elite Eight. But the second round games in the back-to-back Final Four runs, those are the ones that have really stuck out to me as really the toughest. The Georgia game and then the West Virginia game, because they were hard-nosed, tough, physical, great defense type of teams, disruptors. And both of those games, the final score, really not indicative of how close it was down the stretch. Iowa, I think, won by 7, won by 9 at the end. But the fact that those were 1-2 possession games at the under 4 timeout, and I just remember those as being the most difficult. And I think when you lump in being at home, there's that pressure too. You're supposed to do this. Everybody's penciling you in on their brackets to the Sweet 16, to the Elite Eight. So it's supposed to happen. But there's 40 minutes of basketball that have to be played first. So shouldn't be a problem Saturday. Just looking at Fairleigh Dickinson, they've won 22 in a row. It's a team that it defends very, very well, only giving up 51 points a game. Good rebounding team, but doesn't have the size that Iowa does. But a very balanced scoring team. So there's not 1 or 2 players that you have to focus on. And I think what always kind of worries coaches is that player that averages 10 or 11, 12 points, they're usually capable of going for 20 to 22, and you don't want to allow that type of night.
Rob Brooks joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Robbie, you look at what was it, a day, if that, where Carver was sold out for the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. You talked about being at home. It's almost become like, and it didn't happen last year, but it was like we took a year off and now that you're back doing what you're doing. What is it like being at home? It is such a big advantage. You look at the guys tournament and it's not that way. Talk about being at home and what that crowd means. And I don't want to say the Iowa fans are spoiled, but they get to do this a lot, which is a great thing. Talk about the environment and maybe even just almost a celebration of women's basketball that'll happen over the next 5 days. Tonight, there's a playing game there. I don't think it's a surprise that there's a playing game at Carver Hawkeye. I think the NCAA knows that if there's going to be two off-site teams coming to an arena, the Iowa fan base will probably go watch that. They'll probably be supportive of that. What's it like the next 5 days at Carver Hawkeye Arena?
I think you go back to even the two Final Four runs, all the Caitlin buzz when College Game Day was here a couple of times. It's a buzz in the air, and it's just, I liken it to tailgating at a football game, especially if the weather's nice. It looks like it's going to be great. I mean, there'll be people outside in the parking lots hanging around, just going around, seeing friends, talking, and then the lines. As soon as it's getting close to where it's time to head into the arena, they'll be all lined up around. So it's a great atmosphere. It's great to walk in and see all the fans, and boy, they're ready to go as soon as they enter Carver Hawkeye Arena. And outside of the Caitlin years on the road, there's nothing like this at all. And I go way back to the mid 1980s when Tom Davis had that number one ranked basketball team for 16 straight games, and you couldn't hear anything at Carver Hawkeye Arena. It was the buzz around town. It was the place to be. That's the BJ Horton Marble era. It's tough to get a ticket, and when it got into that Big Ten season, you never experience anything as loud as that in Iowa City, but we've reached that point. When you start talking about decibel levels and you take that headset off and you just listen to that crowd and you just wonder, it's just kind of like being in that north end zone when I was playing defense at Kinnick. You just can't communicate. You can hardly hear, and it flusters teams. And, the Michigan, Kim Barnes-Arico, the head coach for the Wolverines, says, why do we always have to come to Carver Hawkeye when, it's Caitlin Clark Day, Senior Day, and all the special events coming on? And it just seems like they always run into that buzzsaw when she broke the scoring record against Michigan. So teams remember that. And whether it's a non-conference team, other Big Ten team, there's an appreciation of what's happening in Iowa City as far as women's basketball and the way it really, I mean, they had a really good fan base before Caitlin, and obviously off the charts, but it's continued. And that's a testament to the state of Iowa and everybody following women's basketball. I did games when C. Vivian Stringer was the head coach when I was a student at the University of Iowa, leading up to that Final Four run in the early 90s. And there were people really into it then, had great teams, but obviously nothing like we've seen here the past couple of years. So the history has been there for Iowa women's basketball across the state. And now it's just at a height I don't think anybody's ever seen before.
Rob, we've had the experts on this week, Kyle Huseman, John Bonenkamp, people like that I've asked this question to. I want to get your thoughts, and it can go so many different ways. Who's the X factor for Iowa in the postseason? If Iowa's going to have a really nice run in the NCAA tournament, a long run in the NCAA tournament, I mean, you can go inside, you can go outside. In your mind, who's the X factor for Iowa? Who has to play well for Iowa to have a nice long postseason?
I'll say Kylie Feuerbach. From an offensive standpoint, it just seems to me throughout her career, we know what she does, the value on the defensive side. When she can knock down threes and get a couple of hoops at the rim, get into that 8 to 10, 8 to 12 points a game, to me, it just changes this basketball team. So I would say it doesn't have to happen. They can win with just her playing defense. But what I've noticed is that Iowa's really rolling when she's able to knock down some threes and get into that scoring column above her average.
Rob, you mentioned Hannah Stolke a little bit, talking about the break and giving her some time to heal and all that. We talked, I think the last time we talked, it was game day of their first NCAA tournament game against Illinois, and we didn't know. You think less than 50-50 that
Right.
she'd play, and she wouldn't play the whole weekend. Any talk of it anymore? Is it feeling better? Obviously, she played in the Big Ten tournament. She's going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. But any update on how that elbow might be doing?
Yeah, I think she came through unscathed, and it sounded like they just changed the tape job as far as the pain and everything, and kind of messed around with that, got something that she was comfortable with, and performed very, very well at the Big Ten tournament, and really had not practiced at all the way up to that. And then felt pretty good at shoot around that day of the Illinois game. And it was definitely a game time decision, and then went with it and was able to play extended minutes. So that's the good news. And the rest can't do anything but help. And Iowa did take a few days off from practice and got away after the Big Ten tournament. So I think probably about a week or so now they've been going pretty hard, bring in officials, scrimmage, get all that stuff over the weekend, and then now obviously in full game prep mode.
Rob, you look at it, and the it's another time to play Carver Hawkeye for these seniors, and Hannah being one of them. And they've had their senior nights and all those kind of things, so it's not that. But you look at someone like Hannah, and yeah, Caitlin and Kate and Gabby and those ladies did a lot for Iowa basketball. I would not argue that Hannah did just as much, but it was a difficult transition. You lost. She played with those, and then she had to continue it to where it is. What will Hannah's legacy, getting ready to play her last couple days and games at Carver Hawkeye, what do you think her legacy will be when it comes to Iowa women's basketball, this program, and the impact that she left on it?
I think the amount of wins throughout her career, the successful teams that she's been a part of in different roles, and asked early on in her career to play maybe out of position just because of the way the rotation was, and to play through some injuries. She's been injured before, and I think the toughness, the determination, and nobody will ever forget the way that she runs baseline to baseline, and it just shows off her athleticism. And the thing that I'll remember, unless something more happens this weekend, hopefully it will, but Caitlin to Hannah Stolke on those long down court passes that are not easy to catch, one, not easy to finish, two, and was able to do that. But a terrific rebounder, just grit, determination, and leading by example. And just the amount of wins when you look at her career from her freshman year to her senior year, former Iowa Miss Basketball, and what she's been able to do. Too bad she couldn't run track too, because I think she'd be pretty good at that.
No, she definitely would. Rob Brooks joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. A few more for a busy guy in Iowa City these days. Rob, when you look at the big picture, we talked about the brackets coming out. You didn't see, and I didn't think they'd put Michigan as the one seed in Iowa's group, and they played UConn as well. It's South Carolina. The players, coaches, they can't look ahead. Us media idiots, we can look ahead a little bit. When you look at a possible TCU or an Elite Eight battle with South Carolina, what are your thoughts of the big picture for Iowa when it comes to what could be after this weekend?
Well, I think if that does happen, it would be an Elite Eight game out in Sacramento. I think you'd have to go back to the semifinal game, Caitlin's junior year in the Final Four. Nobody expected Iowa to be in that game, let alone win it. And you can kind of draw upon some of those things. Have seen UConn, have seen UCLA, and they have not been close games. So that tide would have to turn. Is South Carolina quite as good as those two? I'd say probably not. I think they just, if there's not maybe a notch, but a half a notch below. I think there's 4 teams. It's pretty obvious to everybody that are just kind of a cut above every other team right now, and that's UConn, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina. Those are the obvious number 1 seeds, and that's as big a no-brainer as you can get. But things happen along the way. And I don't see those 4 teams having any trouble until the Elite Eight, but it would take a monumental effort by somebody. And I think if you talk to the coaches, hey, that'd be great. We've got a lot of basketball to play, but we love that opportunity. And they have been in those arenas. They have played that type of competition. So if it happens, which I hope it does, it'll be a fun night. But those 4 teams, it takes a pretty special outing to take care of them, which we have seen before in the Final Four and before.
Robbie, you look at this one last phone before I let you go. You look at, I don't want to call you, I'm not calling you old, a veteran of
there you go, huh?
basketball.
That's nice way to say it.
Yeah, you big picture for you. You mentioned being a student calling games for C. Vivian Stringer. Can you go back to that young, handsome man back then and then go now and would you have believed you were doing what you're doing with a program and a team you were doing if I would have told that younger Rob Brooks back in the C. Vivian Stringer days what's been going on? Big picture it for yourself. You've watched this whole thing grow over the last decades.
Yeah, I think the nice thing is that it's a great group to be around. That's, to me, the fun part. And is my 10th year on the radio, but I'd done a lot of TV games with Iowa women's basketball since really 2000. So always followed the program, knew the coaches, and obviously a lot more now. But so you always paid attention to it. And when I first started, went to the WNIT, and then Megan Gustafson's senior year and to the Elite Eight. So you certainly don't ever anticipate Final Fours, Elite Eights, back to back Big Ten tournament championships. It's been great. But even if that never happened, it's been great because it's just a terrific group to be around. And when you travel with them and you're eating breakfast with them, doing pregame interviews, coaches shows, that just makes it so much more enjoyable. It'd be fun anyway, but when you're really rooting for the coaches and the players because they're such good people, fun to be around, treat you well, it just makes it extra special. And it's been fun. I've got a few years left in me, so we'll see what happens this year and keep it rolling.
Oh, Robbie, you're a young pup. You got more. You got as many years as you want left in you. Every time you come on, we reference John Marx and give him a hard time and everything like that. Which I think
we better.
We need to, but you never know. You literally never know who pops in on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. And I haven't talked to Johnny this week, so John Marx joins us here on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. You claim this guy, Johnny? Or vice versa.
How could you spend a week and not talk to John Marx? Is what I want.
I love it.
He's one of the best dudes on the planet, Matty. That dude right there. It's family. Peter lived with us. Blair is one of my favorite athletes. Blair during COVID made cut through every red tape he could at UNI to get him to watch Jackson play in the semifinals. I know the coaching staff did not want him out mingling. Sue Brooks, they don't make him any better, and the guy right there is guided and saved me 1,000 times over our broadcast time together, and they don't make him any better, Matty.
It's fun because I don't know if there's 2 people I know more that love their kids more than y'all love your kids. I've had Rob, and I mean that in the best way possible. You know what it's like being dads. We're all dads and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's the beauty thing. So Rob, you've put up with this guy for how long?
Boy, Johnny, going back to the early 2000s, right?
20 years.
Yeah,
we did the Midwest.
Modern Woodman Park press box.
Yep.
2003, I think.
Game. Yeah. Did the Midwest League All-Star game with you and your dad, the legend that he was. And from there, it kind of took off. I got to go to Cedar Rapids and do things with Rob in the Midwest League. and then high school stuff, and usually shootout games. And he's always been there, Matty. And I'll get to see him before Blair's wedding. I'll get to see him if he goes to the spring game. I'm going to run up for that. So I finally, and Rob understands this as well as anybody. And you talk about children. I finally have a free spring and a free fall. So
right. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Guys, there's a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to that kind of stuff, because I still got young kids. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I got my life back eventually, Rob.
Well, yes, you do. It's just different stresses, but you will. One of the best stories that Johnny and I have, and I don't know why we did it, but we did. We did 5 high school games in one day in 2 different cities. We started in the Quad Cities on a Saturday morning doing shootout games, and then dropped the headset, got into our cars, and headed to Mount Vernon on the campus of Cornell College, did 3 more shootout games. And then I never heard from Johnny till Wednesday. I go, I better check on him. Had the flu bug, has been in bed ever since that Saturday. I said, boy, I knew it about killed us, but it really about killed us.
Rob, I remember that. I remember that because they asked me to do the big games at the shootout. And I'm like, well, that's Robin and Johnny. And they're like, Johnny's like, no, we're doing I'm like, why is the A team doing the first games? Usually schmucks like me get the early games. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, the Cedar Rapids games pay better. We got to do the prime games there, and for a couple more bucks.
Check, please, right, Johnny?
Check, please. And I want you to know, Matty, today ends in Y, so Rob might not be signing today. I just want everybody to know that. It's usually Thursday, sometimes Saturday, but yes, check, please is always our 2 favorite things to say. It's been a riot, and I owe him so much.
Yeah, no.
Well, Johnny, remember, we could never draw the lines that Hacksaw Jim Duggan was able to sign all that stuff at Modern Woodman. I just was amazed at
my God,
old school wrestlers and all the people they attracted.
Yes, those are
and
some
they
of my
still
favorite.
do. And
we could never do that.
Well, I love this. I was joking with Johnny yesterday. I said, I got Rob coming on. I'm like, are you, and Rob, you'll get this and think it's funny. I'm like, are you at work? And I kind of put those things in quotes because work and John Marx. I'm like, are you in that early? He's like, yeah, I'll hop on. So I figured we always give Johnny a little nudge at the end of our chats. I figured I'd have Johnny pop on and say hi. So Rob, enjoy the games this weekend. I appreciate it. Johnny, get your insight ready next week. It's not just going to be a cameo. We got a lot to unpack after this weekend. So watch a bunch of basketball boys, enjoy it, and we'll catch up with both of you guys real soon. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it, bud. We'll be back behind the mic together in June.
That's true.
Yes, we will.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, fellas. We'll talk soon. That is Rob Brooks first and foremost, but some guy named John Marx pops on. You never know when John Marx is going to appear on the show. So a lot of fun. Iowa women tip things off against Fairleigh Dickinson on Saturday at 3 p.m. And I always say, and I mean this, go to YouTube, go to the Hawkeye Radio Network, put Robbie on and listen, and then kind of marry it to the TV. It's the best listen in town. So we got more to get to. It's a Thursday, the first day of the NCAA tournament, and we'll have much more right here on OTA. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. We are counting down until the tip-off of the NCAA tournament. Of course, Match Madness is in full swing. Hopefully, you've got your brackets filled out. If you haven't, go to my social media. We're doing an off-the-air bracket challenge. Great prizes from Hungry Hobo and Snoops and Godfather's Pizza, Mobile Party Experience, a party trailer. Crawford Company has donated a Visa gift card for $50. So many great things. Do that as soon as you can because time's running out. We're talking NCAA tournament, and when I think hoops, I think of this busy man, Jess Settles, former Hawkeye, and one of the best color commentators in the business. Joining me right now and Off There with Matt Randazzo. You're on the road, my friend. It's a volleyball weekend for you?
Yes, I'm being chauffeured by my daughter, Julia, a freshman. We're headed to Indianapolis for one of those tournaments. So we're looking to make some waves over there. It's a beautiful day finally, right? It was winter and summer and the same day yesterday. So we're fired up about a nice day. I like to have a 1 in 9.2 quintillion opportunity to get a perfect bracket. So the two of us, right? We like our odds, buddy.
Yeah, I think it's chalky this year, in my opinion. Have you filled out a bracket, Jess? And if you have, do you like it feels like because of the transfer portal and those type of things, Cinderellas aren't as prevalent as before. Your thoughts as you filled out your bracket this year for the NCAA tournament?
I'll tell you what, it was really tough to fill out. Exactly right. You're leaning this 5-12 game here. Should I go with McNeese State? Because I covered them earlier this year. They pressed the whole game. I think they have an opportunity to upset. I think it's Vandy in that slot. I don't have the bracket in front of me. And then, Miami of Ohio, what momentum they have. They have Texas in the first round. That game could get really interesting. But I've got Iowa State going all the way. Believe it or not, I just like their matchups. Michigan, with their backup point guard being injured, just scared me. I think, 3 weeks ago, Michigan was, for me, the clear-cut favorite along with Arizona. But with LJ injured, I was out of that area. And then I don't know what you did here. I've really struggled with St. John's. It's 5 seed. I thought they'd be a 3 seed. Non-conference isn't great. But, boy, they boat raced everybody in this tournament and got them the Final Four. I don't know. That might be bar. What do you have with them?
I like St. John's, and I get scared just because, teams that do well in conference tournaments, I'm I keep on thinking of Richmond and Iowa, and that happened, 4 years ago. And even before that, Illinois won the Big Ten tournament. They lost to Loyola in the second round. So sometimes people watch a Purdue or a St. John's from last weekend, and they get really a Vanderbilt from last weekend, and they see them play really well on a given week, and then they got to turn around and duplicate that the next weekend. And sometimes that worries me a little bit. But I do like St. John's. I do like Vanderbilt, as you mentioned. I'm surprised you got Iowa State winning the whole thing. As a Hawkeye, is that allowed? Like, isn't there some code that says you can't do that?
Yeah, there is a code. I know my man card's been, punched a little bit, torn a little bit, but when you is like, there was a time in Michigan was just destroying every good team. And you saw what they did against Illinois about 3 weeks ago now? But, you look at Iowa State, you say defense and the way they trap. I know. It's a bold move by me, right? And it usually doesn't work out. I think I've won the pool in our family about 2 times in the last 10 years, but the other 8 times I've been crushed. My daughters don't usually watch any of the games, and they still beat me, so what's that say? But my wife always has the rule, Joanne always has the rule, you go with Rick Pitino and you always go with Tom Izzo. If you go with Tom Izzo every single year over the course of a decade, 2 or 3 out of those years, you're going to win the whole thing, right? Because of the points, because he's going to get to an Elite Eight, a Final Four. So there's some strategy in there. Here was the soul crusher for me, okay? And your listeners will like this. I believe it's Houston against Illinois, right? Is that what the bracket's showing?
In Houston.
Okay. Okay. So I clicked that 3 different times this morning and switched it. Now, I was on Lauren Tate's show over in Champaign last week, and I said, look, I'm taking Illinois to the Elite Eight no matter what, no matter who's in front of them. But at the same time, I said the 3 best teams I'd seen this year in person were Illinois, Houston, and Michigan. I hate to say it. I switched it. As of right now, I'm leaning Houston. I have Houston in the slot. But I could probably be convinced by you to change it. So what say you?
No, I'm with you, and people think I'm an Illinois hater. I'm not. The more you cover them and you get to know people and all that kind of stuff, the 12-year-old in you goes away, and you become try to think with basketball knowledge, and they can beat anybody, Jess, on any given day. I go back to, I do think it's a big deal. I always like Houston. I like what they do. They're gritty. They're tough. They can shoot it. And they're in Houston. So I went Houston just because of the fact that that game is going to be in Houston as well. Jess Settles joining us on Off There with Matt Randazzo. Jess, I got to talk Iowa with you. They're back in the NCAA tournament for the first time in a couple years. Clemson pops up on the screen. When you see Iowa Clemson, what comes to your mind? What was the thoughts when you saw that first round matchup for Ben McCollum and company?
Man, I like Iowa's draw. I really do. Now, as a 9, right? I mean, obviously they're not a 2 seed, but this is, it feels like first team to 50, right? I mean, it feels like rock fight, ugly, slow tempo. I know that Clemson's one of their top rebounders is injured.
Yeah.
And I think per minute, he was number 1 on their team in rebounds per minute. So it's really hard to beat a team like Iowa at the same game. So I would think that the computers would like Iowa going into this one. I picked Iowa, and then things get interesting. I would have said, do whatever you can to avoid Florida. Florida's front line is just really good. Obviously, Florida, I don't know. I think you call them a blue blood anymore. I mean, you look at their resume over the last 20 years. I mean, it's Final Four century there. Right? They just parade to the Final Four and they win it. Iowa isn't going to like, big time rebounding forwards. So I've got Florida picked right there just from a common sense pick. But the Hawkeyes could really frustrate them. And Bennett Sturgis just seems like a destiny, and I hope I'm wrong. What are you thinking on those angles?
I like Iowa. I really like Iowa. And Jess, and you've played in it at the biggest level, and I think it was the same way back then. If the best player on the court is is on your team and he's in the most important position on the floor. And no offense to you power forwards back in the day, but at the point guard position, am I right that when in March it comes down to guard play, it comes down to point guard play, and I agree with you. Florida's a tall task. But I'm not just being a homer. I love Iowa tomorrow. Clemson lost their second best scorer and leading rebounder, and that's unfortunate. You don't love that or anything like that. But I go back to the fact that the best player on the floor, there's one NBA player on the floor when Iowa and Clemson play, and it's Bennett Sturts, right? Talk about point guard play in March Madness, because I think it's important in college basketball in general, obviously. But I think it's spotlighted when it comes to March.
Oh, geez, you're not kidding. I mean, it's Bobby Hurley, it's Randall Childress, it's Tyus Edney, it's Mike Bibby. I mean, you have to have a great point guard to make any type of noise at all. They just control the whole game, the tempo. You can score out of them. I mean, obviously they're going to have day. It used to be you had to have 2 NBA pros. I think Sports one time had a statistics. If you had 2 first-round picks, your odds were, tenfold of making the Final Four. There was a stretch in there where you almost had to have 2 first-round picks, to make it. I'm talking back in the days of Stacey Augmon and Larry Johnson and Christian Laettner and Grant Hill and Corliss Williamson and Scotty Thurman. That's obviously all the older guys sticking around. But yes, he has to be the best player on the floor, and he's going to have to play well against Florida as well to pull that upset. Now, you pull that upset, which he's capable of doing, then it looks like you're going to be playing a team like Nebraska. So all of a sudden, things get really interesting if you can shock the world. It's going to come down to Bennett. He's got to be great in that game. You're exactly right.
You mentioned Bennett Sturts. I think Iowa's in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, a big part of it is Bennett Sturts, but we both kind of know, and we talked about a little bit before the show, that Cooper Koch is a huge reason why the Iowa Hawkeyes are still playing basketball. He's 19 of 34 from 3 over the last 5 games. That's pretty good. And he struggled. He slumped a little bit shooting it, but he's played so well. Cooper was on the show yesterday. I want to play for you what he said yesterday about shooting and shooting out of slumps, and I want to get your thoughts on it. You made 19 out of your last 34 threes. That's elite shooting. What's clicking? What's different? What's it felt like for you the last at least 5 games?
I think the only thing is different is they're going in. I'm getting them in the same spots that I usually shoot them, maybe slightly more rhythm, slightly more open. But, yeah, Bennett's coming off the pick and rolls, finding me, hitting the pockets, and the bigs are finding me. So just got to stay confident, stay steady, and just keep knocking them down.
I think you'll be the first to admit that there was a 6-game slump for yourself during the season. How did you handle it? Mentally and physically, and I always tell my kids, man, they look good. Boy, they're all right there. And I know that doesn't help. You don't get a half point if it goes in and out and all those kind of things, but it felt like it looked good. Did you shoot more? Did you talk with anybody? Had you been through something like that before when it comes to shooting at any level?
That's probably the first time I've had like a multiple week slump from shooting the ball from 3, but yeah, my dad would say the same thing. They all look good. They're all coming out of your hand good arch, hitting the back rim. But, yeah, just keep doing the same routine. I didn't really switch anything up in the gym. Just kind of focused on maybe my mechanics slightly more, just form shooting a little bit more, and just stay doing the same thing. Don't change anything.
Jess, I love the fact that he said the only thing that's different is they were going in. That mindset. Kind of talk about being a shooter. You didn't shoot it nearly as well as – you could shoot it, but not as well as that young man. What'd you get out of that response? I really liked the response that he gave.
Yeah, look, he's getting some really good looks, right, playing with Bennett. I know he was frustrated over that stretch. He just – had multiple opportunities where he just knew they were going to go down and then they rattle out. It looks to me like his arch is a little better, right? To me, that's the big thing for Coop. Like his arch has to be even a little more than what he even thinks it's supposed to be. I mean, just the science behind the shot. but wow, has he caught fire at the right time. And he's probably going to have to hit 4 of them the next game, and he's probably going to have to hit 5 or 6 of them against Florida. I mean, that's just the reality. And Fulgaris, those two are probably going to have to combine for about 8 to 10 threes. They definitely have it in them. I'm really glad that he's playing some of his best basketball. Look, this kid guards, and it is so hard to guard at the Big Ten, especially with all the switching and you get stuck on guards. He really chests people up, plays with physicality. As his game evolves and he gets more one-on-one game, the sky's the limit. But it's crazy, right? You saw last night where Peyton Sanford made his debut in the NBA and hit a 3, in the last few seconds for Oak City. The league just loves shooters, these big forwards, guards who can just shoot. They don't need athletes and one-on-one all over the court. Got those who can complement the best players and knock in shots and defend. So I hope he keeps it going. We've obviously known him since he was just a kid, and so glad to see him. We want him to be a part of the next Sweet 16.
Hey, you and I both. Jess Settles joining us right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. An X factor for the Iowa Hawkeyes in the NCAA tournament. If I said to you, this person has to play well, or this is the X factor for the Iowa Hawkeyes, who's your X factor entering the NCAA tournament for Iowa?
Oh, that is really tough there. Yeah. You know what? I think the X factor is Fulgaris. I think he's the right. He can't have a 2-point game. He's got to play well. He's got to win his one-on-one matches, confidence. And then Banks is going to be really he defends. He's not a problem. I'm just going through all the players on the team. I think Fulgaris has to play well. Anybody you're missing? Tate can have those games, but I think would you agree Fulgaris has to be the man for X factor?
I think you nailed it. And the thing is the highs and the lows, Jess. Like it's either he's really good. You go back to Ohio State and some of those games, you're like, wow, he was really good. And then you go back to, I think you've seen it in halves. Against Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament, he was MIA in the first half and then played great in the second half. So you're right. It's not even just has to be great, but just can't be 2 points. I think that nails it 100%. Jess, when you look at the NCAA tournament, there's a bunch of fun storylines. That's what the best part of the NCAA tournament is. When you're watching Selection Sunday and you see Illinois and Brad Underwood getting Fran McCaffrey and Penn, what was your thoughts, one, on that matchup, and then two, Fran McCaffrey is somebody you got to know very well, and it's really, the guy can coach. I know it didn't end well at the very end at Iowa and all those kind of things, but the guy can coach basketball, can't he?
Oh, he really can. I mean, and Fran told me a few times, when I was picking his brain over the years, he's like, hey, we're going to score 84, 85 points. And he goes, it's really hard for other teams to score 84, 85 points, right? So he always feels like he has the advantage at the offensive end. That was a legendary Ivy League performance by Penn over those last couple games. I mean, for that kid to come down and hit that 3. Now, obviously, why Yale did not foul up 3 is one that every coach will study in the offseason. That was a huge mistake. But for him to rise up, hit the 3, and then to win in overtime, I mean, Fran just was calm, cool, and collected. And I know he's just thrilled. And then Brad Underwood and Fran are buddies, but, obviously Penn's not as big of a threat to Illinois right now as Iowa is. And I credit both of those guys and Chin and Orlando and Jeff and all those assistant coaches and at Iowa and Illinois for bringing the heat back to that rivalry, right? I mean, all of our viewers, Illinois-Iowa was just lethargic there for about a decade. And Brad and Fran, just with their charismatic behavior and their intensity and passion and competitive nature, they brought it back. So even Luca and Io and those guys, they don't like each other. And I credit those two coaches. So this will be really fun to see. It looks like Fran's team's really beat up. Like one kid's not playing with a concussion. And then I think it's the Power kid who was his good player, didn't practice yesterday. Yeah. So if those two guys don't play, and now you've got me stirred up again about Illinois. Like I might have to change my pick over Houston when I get off the phone here. I mean, I love Illinois' team this year. They're so physical and skilled, and The game I had them, they just were so dominant. I don't know, buddy. I might have to switch it.
They can beat anybody in the country. I mean that. But, Jess, they're up 15 against Wisconsin late first half, and they lose that game. Like, they can also shoot themselves out of games, I feel like. Have you ever seen a team that unique where they got 7-footers that probably shoot it more from behind the arc than they shoot from like 3 feet away from the bucket?
No, I mean, it's just that European style, right? That pick and pop. These guys are just so tough. And if they're hitting, like you said, they can be up 15. I think I saw a clip of Coach Underwood talking about their defense. Their defensive rebounding hasn't been good. And he was kind of ripping his guys. And so when I'm just solely looking at that Houston, Illinois game, and I'm like, if you're struggling to rebound and you play Houston, you're just going to get crushed on the glass. But I hope we get that matchup just for our sakes to watch it. It would be great. But I hate to bet against the Illinois guys. They are really skilled. But it seems like over the last couple of weeks they've been beating themselves, and I just don't like that trend. If it was anybody other than Houston, I would have them to the Elite Eight. But as of this minute, I'm wavering.
A few more for Jess Settles before we let him go do his day of volleyball in Indianapolis. Jess, you mentioned Iowa State. We talked about them being your pick. What did you like about them last weekend in Kansas City? Obviously, they lost the heartbreaker to Arizona, but if there was a loss that could have convinced me to like a team more, it was that loss. I think Arizona's outstanding, and to be that close and to play the way they did. Is this TJ's best team? And it's 1944, I think, was the last time Iowa State was in the Final Four, which is crazy to think about. What do you like about this team this time of year?
I don't think it's his best team. I actually think with was it Gilbert last year and Jones, I'd have a hard time not picking them. But Gilbert I think he pulled his hamstring last year going into the tournament. His mind just wasn't right. I liked how those guys could beat people off the dribble. That being said, that team's gone. I've talked to Kyle Green several times over the years, who's their defensive coordinator. He was with Coach Jake up in Northern Iowa for many years. His son, AJ, plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. Great family, brilliant basketball minds. He told me a few times that the reason that Iowa State has had so much success over the last 5 years in the non-conference is because so many teams that aren't used to playing against them aren't used to being double-teamed from the baseline. So they are so ferocious at double-teaming the post, and most big guys are not comfortable with that. And so when they get outside of conference play, I really think that that's going to be a factor. So just for fun, when you're watching Iowa State, just see how the teams handle the double teams, because they'll send guards, they'll send forwards, and then you got to scramble out of that, and it's really difficult. Maybe the silver lining is that they got beat in the Big 12 tournament so they could get more rest. Arizona, I think, is the team. I'm sure the computers and most fans will pick them to win it all, and rightfully so. And so Iowa State is as good as they are. So that's just kind of my thinking on that. Is Lipsy, a player of destiny? Iowa State has accomplished everything in basketball going back to the years you just talked about. They've accomplished everything. They've got the championships, conference championships, tournament championships. They've got the NBA players, coaches in the NBA, Hoiberg, etc. But they have not been able to get to the big Final Four in the modern era. And that's the last chapter of their book. And so, TJ's hoping to pull that off. So we'll see. I'm going with them, but they'll probably lose in the second round.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Before I let you go, Jess, twofold question. March Madness. Give me your March Madness memory as a player and then growing up. You can do it whatever order you want, but you know what I mean? There's that little kid watching March Madness and all those kind of things. And then obviously you got to play it for, 18 years, yeah. Something like that. What was the memory playing and non-playing? You can go in any order you want.
So, if I remember right around middle school, ninth grade, we had these in the high schools. You had those old TVs on the rollers, right? And
Yes.
I think back then you basically had 3 channels. You had Tom Cornelis out of the Quad Cities, as you know, and you'd get your sports from him. And during March Madness, when ESPN just started, I would kind of sneak into the room with the TV room and miss class. Coach Kelker, our basketball coach, he would let us do it. And I remember just during class watching March Madness because I was just so pumped about it. And to watch those early games, and I knew every player from every team and every conference. So that was that's what just popped in my head when you asked me. As far as a player goes, the Sweet 16 run, which was the last one we had, was really special because it was Tom Davis's last year. I think I may have told you Tom Davis and the staff, they cleaned out their offices because it was their last year before we even played in the tournament. So it was like they kind of burned the ships. There was no place to return to. We headed out. We beat Arkansas in Denver. John Elway was at the game. Came back, kamikaze, caught fire. And then we went to Phoenix and lost a tight battle to Khalid El-Amin and Rip Hamilton for UConn, who went on and won it. So that's what really jumps out at me. Now, ironically, I ran into Khalid El-Amin a couple of years ago up in Minnesota, and I said, you ruined my entire, you ruined my career, man. You're my last out, and so we had a good laugh out of that. But those are good memories, man. It's my last thing I'll say is just for the kids on the Iowa team, life changes if you make a Sweet 16, Matt. It's the publicity they're going to get this week is huge, and the experience is great. But if you make a Sweet 16, you can't even imagine the recognition of tens of millions of people watching you on TV compete. Years later, people will come up to you on the street and say, "Hey, I remember watching your UConn game," or I've had to call in to like a credit card situation, and the person answering the phone in New Jersey will say, "Hey, you're Jess Settles who played in the Sweet 16 for Iowa," right? I mean, it's that big. So I hope they can all experience that.
Yes, and I hope we can celebrate it. And when you guys celebrate it, I'm going to be golfing with you guys. We already locked that down. So Fire Lake, sure. We're going to be rocking and rolling. Hey, enjoy the volleyball.
Bring them.
Are you a good volleyball dad? Do you yell and scream a lot? Are you chill?
Oh no. This is the first one I've gone to all year. No, I see no benefit to wearing earphones and sitting in a gym with 200 courts 3 days in a row. So no, my wife coaches Julia, so for her it's worth it. But no, I'm not one of those guys. I know a lot of guys are, but I just can't hang, man. Yeah. I can't hang with it.
I love it. Well, wish her the best of luck. Always appreciate you. Good luck with the brackets, and I'll catch up with you again really soon, my friend. Always appreciate your time. You know that.
All right, I'm punching in Illinois here because of you. I feel the Illinois over Houston. Okay. See you, brother.
Right. Love you, brother. Be good. That is Jess Settles joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Obviously, going back, just thinking, 1999 was the last time Iowa was in a Sweet 16. And he's right. Like, these kids, like what you talked with Cooper yesterday, he knows it. I mean, his dad was on that team, so he knows it. It could be a special weekend. Obviously, a tall task, one game at a time. Clemson coming up for the Iowa Hawkeyes tomorrow at 5:50. Illinois plays tonight, as Jess said. He's gone back and forth. I did too. I went back and forth with the two toughest ones in my bracket was Illinois-Houston, if it happens. And I end up going Houston just because of the home court advantage. And then I got Iowa State, Michigan in the Elite Eight. And I really wanted to pull the trigger with Iowa State and go with the Cyclones. I eventually went with Michigan. I still think they're the best team in the country. I think the loss in the championship game kind of throws people off their scent, if that makes any sense, and maybe throws people to some other Arizonas and stuff like that, or Iowa States. And I still think Michigan is really, really good. So it'll be a lot of fun. So we got much more to get to. We will talk some more March Madness and much more. You're watching OTA on a Thursday right here in the Quad Cities. So we'll be right back. For over 65 years, Linquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities, and they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Linquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need mobile party experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile party experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your mobile party experience today.
Hey, I'm the Crawford guy.
Ooh, do you guys always speak at the same time?
Sorry, guys. I'll go first. You know, if you need help with your heating or air conditioning, or electrical, or plumbing, Crawford Company can solve your problem.
But what about your problem?
What problem?
Do you not hear yourselves? Take it from me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Crawford is the comfort company.
Give me the keys. Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. It is Thursday, March 19th. The NCAA tournament, in my opinion, begins in about 10 minutes. And I know a lot of people think of the first 4 and those games are great, but this is the NCAA tournament growing up. This is when it starts, is a day like today. So really excited about it. You got about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes to get into the Off the Air Bracket Challenge. It's been a ton of fun to watch people sign up. Some people, you're in there, you're signed up, but you're not, for some reason it's incomplete. So check it, maybe make sure you're actually in, all those kind of things. But again, some great prizes. We have a party trailer and a party sub from Hungry Hobo as one of the packages. We have a bunch of food from Snoop's and pizzas from Godfather's as well. In another package, the food lovers package, if you will, and then a $50 Visa gift card. One of the other packages for winners as well. If you finish dead last, like myself, you have a chance of winning a monkey bread, a cinnamon monkey bread from Godfather's as well. So we take care of the winners and the losers when it comes to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo as well. So get in there. You probably got about 5 minutes left, if that, and then you can't get in anymore. So it's a fun day in the Randazzo household. So I'm going to do something that I've told myself I'm not going to do anymore. I'm going to welcome on the person that did the best in our family, I believe, last year when it comes to the bracket challenge, and that is Carson Randazzo joining us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. This is my 9-year-old. You're 9 now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my goodness. So are you excited for the NCAA tournament?
Yep.
Have you filled out your bracket?
Yep.
Where's it at?
Right here.
Not only is it filled out, It's laminated as well. So that's how serious you are about this.
Yeah.
Give me your final four. Give me your last four in each bracket.
Oh, like on this side and this side?
Yep, the last four teams left.
Arizona, Michigan, Florida, Duke.
Arizona. Now, Carson, that seems like all four number one seeds.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know.
So you think all four number one seeds are going to win?
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Okay, we're Iowa fans. You're wearing your Iowa sweatshirt. You're also not wearing any shoes. Classy TV right here. What do you have Iowa doing? Are they going to win their first game?
Let me look. I can't even see it, bro.
You can't see. You have them winning. You
Yeah,
have them
I do.
beating
Yeah, I do.
Clemson, so that's very good as well.
Yeah.
Also, do you have Illinois winning?
Illinois. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
you do. And Iowa State. I think you have them all three winning as well. So I'm going to tell my other son, can you go tell them to be quiet downstairs? Thank you, because we have like a house full of people because the NCAA tournament's about ready to start. Okay, so last year you did really good. Why did you do so good last year?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Luck.
That's not luck. Sam Smart.
I'm not smart.
You are. You're very, very smart.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so in this, put your bracket down so we can see that pretty face of yours. In the family, who's going to be the best person in the family?
Like in this family?
Yeah, in our family.
Oh.
Who do you think is going to do the best?
Dad.
Now you're just kissing up. I like that. How about in our whole family when it comes to cousins and grandmas and all that kind of stuff? Who's the smartest cousin between Emily, Molly, and Katie? Who do you think is going to do the best out of them? You know you're going to get in trouble, aren't you?
Yeah.
But,
hope they're not watching.
Oh, they watch every day. It's their favorite show.
Emily's
and Molly's in one of the commercials.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, she watches every day.
I'm going to go with Molly.
Molly. Why?
Because she's always nice to me.
Oh, that's good. Are the other ones not nice to you?
Emily is fine.
Okay.
Katie's fine.
Okay.
All of them are fine.
Okay, don't say anything bad. What about Grandma Randazzo?
Oh, yeah. She
does a good job.
Yeah, she's probably going to win.
Oh, you think she's going to win?
Yeah.
I think she's going to win too. All right, so we're going to head to a break. But what are we doing today? Talk about our basement. What do we got in the basement? What do we got on the walls? All that kind of stuff.
we got the bracket with all of these on it. We got all of the
biggest bracket. We got a huge bracket, don't we?
Yeah. And then we have all of our brackets on like one side, like on this side, some of them.
Uh-huh.
And then we have the 5 TVs to watch. We have friends over.
It's loud down there.
Yeah, it is.
They're playing music and everything.
Yeah.
They know not to do that during Dad's show, don't they?
Yeah.
They're probably going to get yelled at here a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. So, and we also have how many TVs up on the wall?
5.
5. To make sure we watch all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, you did a good job. You didn't say anything inappropriate or bad. I'm proud of you. Nope. That doesn't mean you're going to.
I'm not going to.
Okay, good job. Because you gave up saying naughty stuff for Lent, didn't you?
Yep.
How's that going?
Good.
You doing good with it? Okay. Well, that is my youngest, Carson. The rest of the Randazzo boys and some friends are downstairs getting ready to watch. Don't go anywhere. Get ready to watch the NCAA tournament. It starts in just a little bit. If you have a couple minutes left, get into our bracket challenge, and we will wrap up another edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo and tell you about what we're looking forward to tomorrow. Coming up right after the break. You're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. It's a Thursday.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West. the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
You from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Thursday in the Quad Cities. Thursday, March 19th. The NCAA tournament is officially underway. Thank you to everyone who got into our OTA Bracket Challenge. We'll give updates maybe tomorrow, probably, although it's not really got a whole bunch of games tomorrow. But we'll give updates and all those kind of things. And, of course, next week as well. Coming up tomorrow on the show, a couple different things I want to focus on. A little more locally, the Quad City Steamwheelers have their home opener this weekend. I'm hoping to chat with some Quad City Steamwheelers tomorrow on the show, right before the NCAA tournament gets rocking and rolling in full swing. Also, tomorrow on the show as well, maybe Monday as well, the Iowa-Illinois high school all-star game comes up on Monday. Great event at Augustana College. We'll kind of preview that as well tomorrow. Also, Tom Kakert working hard in Tampa, hoping to maybe have him, Tyler Tashman, be on here to talk about the Iowa game preview, find out what they found out as we get ready to rock and roll. Also, Illinois will be in the book, and they'll, in my opinion, will move on to the second round. So we'll talk a little bit about the Fighting Illini tomorrow as well. We're going to try to track down Jim Matson and talk with him tomorrow. Also, best of luck to Brock Harding and company. They just tipped off, see if Brock Harding from Moline can win an NCAA tournament game with TCU. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So a lot to get to. If you missed anything on today's show, I know it's such a busy time of year, but the Iowa women don't play till Saturday. So Rob Brooks, if you missed Rob Brooks, awesome stuff. One of the best in the business and also a really good dude as well. We chatted with him all about the Iowa women's basketball team and what this weekend looks like coming up at Carver Hawkeye Arena. So go check that out. Also, Jess settles on his way to Indianapolis to watch some volleyball for his daughter. That is coming up. You can go back and check that out. He's got Iowa State winning the whole thing. Does have Iowa beating Clemson, and he's going back and forth on Illinois and Houston, which would be a Sweet 16 matchup. I went back and forth as well. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, my two most difficult things in my bracket was Illinois, Houston, and then Michigan, Iowa State. And I should have just taken two of the two teams with the local interest and had Illinois move on and Iowa State. But I like Houston being at home. And then I also like Michigan. I think they're still one of the best teams in the entire country, if not the best team. And people are kind of cold on them because they didn't win the Big Ten tournament championship. And I don't think it matters. So those were my two toughest ones. Again, my final four, I went with ones and a two. My two is Houston. And then I do have Duke, Michigan, and Arizona. I have Michigan playing Duke, and I have Michigan, the Big Ten, finally winning a national championship. Who knows if that happens, but we will continue to track it. If you missed any of the shows throughout the week, go check them out. Iowa plays tomorrow. Cooper Couch was on the show yesterday. If you missed that, go check out that interview, and we'll have much more early show tomorrow. Not early show, but regular show time tomorrow. Probably an early finish. You can tell today a little earlier finish as well with the basketball games getting underway as well. So, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. We thank our sponsors for allowing us to do this every day. And we got a lot more to get to when it comes to the future weeks as well. The NFL draft is coming up. Some really good news coming up for a former Rock Ridge standout. We'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow. And then he'll be on the show in recent weeks as well. And we talked about it yesterday with Greg Armstrong. I didn't talk about it enough, but Rusty Van Wetzinga, Pleasant Valley's head football coach, coming back for another season at the helm of the Spartans. One of the most successful programs in the eastern part of the state when it comes to high school football. North Scott, Pleasant Valley, several others, but one of the more successful programs in our area right now. Rusty back for another season. I confirmed that yesterday. So we'll chat with him probably next week sometime as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Enjoy the March Madness. We will see you back here again tomorrow for a Friday edition of OTA.